Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and one thing I love about astrology is its ability to help us understand our relationships. In a couple previous videos, I've used it to explain how J.D. Vance and Donald Trump look at the world almost identically, but how they have different tools for actually executing on that vision. And in this video, I'm going to go through how they actually interact when they're together. So let's take a look. What I've done is all of these glyphs here, all these little symbols, are their natal planets. But I like to think of them as their tools or superpowers. And what I've done is I take all of the degrees and minutes for each of these, and then I put them in a table in ascending order. And so what we end up with is something like this. And this order from lowest to highest degree is the order in which they experience life. This is how I coach my clients as they work through their own relationships and understand themselves. And this can enable us to look at how they interact both at a surface level down through a kind of working relationship, getting things done on a day-to-day basis, down to how things interact at their deepest levels and where they start to pull everything together into something that is the most meaningful for them. And one of the things that we can start off with in the beginning is noticing both of them have Mercury at very similar degrees. They have a very easy time talking because JD comes with ideas that he puts into a structure. That's how these two energies, his North Node in Gemini and his Jupiter in Capricorn, almost at the same degree, come together of here's some details, here's how we take them, put them into a structure, and it opens up possibilities. And Donald, interestingly, has this Neptune in Libra. He can be right there. He can match JD's energy very quickly and get right on board with what he's trying to say. And JD tries to get this message across very quickly, and Donald gets this, his mind works through beyond logic. It works very intuitively. You can't work your way there logically. It just comes up with things. But it's all going to be based with J.D. Vance on those ideas that J.D. brings. And so that's a nice stimulant, I think, for Donald's mind. So they have further, I would say, productive interactions when it comes to getting into that day-to-day work and at 10 degrees, where JD is using his discernment, that Saturn, to pay attention to someone's feelings. And whose feelings are those going to be? Donald's. And Donald almost immediately is using all of his tools and wisdom to shine. And if JD is paying attention, he knows that that is what Donald is doing. And look, he follows up with a Sun doing it. Oh, you want that? I can do that happily, and I will make you look good. And so they have a nice partnership that works together for both of them to shine in that way. When Donald is at 17 degrees, is using his relationships to expanding through his relationships and having unique, unconventional ideas, I'll say, at the same time. It is JD who then comes right in and says, oh, my instinct is to match your energy, and I can do that. So when Donald has an assignment, JD is right there to follow up with, I got you covered. And that works out really well for both of them. One other place where this also is working out exceptionally well is when they are on stage, because this Venus in Leo kicks off at 23 degrees, and JD is there taking in the spotlight, and with Donald kicking in this discernment in Cancer of like tuning into his intuition and maybe coming up with something to say after he's after JD has shown and being noticed. So it doesn't take much away from JD as long as he gets that moment to shine. And then this Venus in Cancer of, you know, whatever Donald has put out there in terms of this rule based on his instinct, that people like it, and he can dive right into, and I'm going to put my heart into it and look really good, and I'm going to defend it, and I want you to love what I'm offering. And after that, JD has his ascendant and steps away. And while he is stepping away from the crowd, he might just be putting a little bubble around himself. He is thinking of ways forward. He's trying to, he can see the bigger picture. And what is he aiming for? To create, do everything he can to match someone's energy. And whose energy is he trying to match? It would be Donald. And once Donald has got that, he can see, here's my guy, J.D. Vance, and now I can step away and feel very proud of myself. So it's a very, I'm going to say easeful relationship, mostly because J.D. is there to support everything that Donald wants, just very naturally. It's not a struggle for him, and I am sure that as the presidential candidate, that is exactly what Donald Trump is probably looking for in a partner. So let me know what you think. We'll see how this actually turns out as they start working together, and I look forward to seeing that.